Jamahal Hill has taken the light heavyweight title, and Glover's now retired, despite his valiant effort. But how did it even turn out this way? Well, it all went down at UFC 283, when Hill and Teixeira fought for the undisputed light heavyweight title. Glover was the more experienced fighter, and he'd already been the champ before, so to say he was the favorite would be an understatement, especially if you consider where the fight happened. In Brazil, in front of the veterans' home crowd. All of the pressure was on Hill. But remember, Jamahal wasn't supposed to fight for the title. The fight was originally supposed to be between Glover and Prohaska, as I mentioned. So the young American got very lucky. I mean, he got handed a golden opportunity that most fighters never get. A direct shot at the title, and you can bet this young, hungry warrior didn't let the chance pass him by. He fought extremely well, especially considering that he was going up against a veteran, and he pulled off a unanimous decision win. Now, as great as this was for the American, the entire MMA world felt for his Brazilian opponent. And as it turned out, this defeat was the thing that finally stopped the 43-year-old legend. That's right, the fight ended in Teixeira's retirement. And it was a real tearjerker. I mean, this guy's been in the game for decades. We've seen him in some crazy fights over the years. Yeah, he's taken on Rampage Jackson, John Jones, Jan Blachowicz, and Alexander Gustafsson, just to name a few. And he's beaten some of these guys too. The point is, we've seen this man competing for over a decade, and his story was genuinely inspiring. He kept coming back, and eventually did win that title. But you know how it is, no one can stay at the top forever. Jiří Prohaska came along and dethroned the Brazilian. But it was a close fight, and he left it all out there in the octagon. That's why it was so sad when the rematch got cancelled. Still, the UFC let the guy have a shot at the title versus Hill. And he lost. Yeah, when you consider how long this guy's been struggling for this title, this defeat just hits differently. And it was an emotional moment watching this immortal fighter walk away from the octagon one last time at the age of 43. Now, this whole story in itself makes you respect the guy, right? And you might think, hey, at least he got to hang up the gloves in his home country with the support of his fans, right? Well, unfortunately, things did not go down like that. Yeah, the fans weren't happy at all. This event was supposed to be a glorious day filled with wins for Brazil. And while Burns and Andrade delivered, and got some big wins, what the fans wanted was to see the Brazilian legend, Figueiredo, pull off a big win. Unfortunately, he lost. Right there in front of all of the Brazilian fans. And the fans did not appreciate it at all. Yep, things were being thrown at the new champ Moreno as he walked out of the ring. It was disgraceful. And you can probably tell where this is all headed, and why Glover's retirement was just tragic. The legend deserved a standing ovation and heaps of support as he made his retirement speech. Instead, he got an empty arena because all the angry fans had walked out. But guys, even though it was horrible, Teixeira showed everyone his class. Even as he made his retirement announcement, he made sure to talk about Hill and how well the young fighter had performed.
Glover, was this what you expected from Jamahal Hill, or was there anything that surprised you about Jamahal in the fight that he fought?
The toughness. I told Patan I felt great in this fight. I did everything right. Eu posso falar português? Tô falando. Pô, desculpa aí, galera. O cara tá me perguntando em português. O cara tá me perguntando em inglês e eu falei... Não, eu disse... muito rápido.
So that the fans wouldn't turn on him the way they did on Moreno. Yeah, you just can't hate this guy. In any event, Glover retired and Hill became the champ. And you can bet the big voices in the MMA world had things to say about all this. Starting with the reactions to Glover's retirement. And they were pretty much exactly how you'd expect. Yeah, fighters from every division, active guys, and those who've retired all spoke out in support of the Brazilian. Almost every big name in MMA at the moment tweeted out, celebrating this veteran's legacy. Yep, I'm talking about guys like Derek Brunson, Belal Muhammad, and Renato Moicano, all of whom paid their respects. But it wasn't even just them. No, ex-champs like Anthony Pettis and Henry Cejudo also made sure to let Glover know they saw what he had accomplished. Speaking of ex-champs though, there's one we just have to mention. A huge voice in MMA, Michael Bisping. That's right, the Count reacted to Teixeira's retirement as well, calling him a legend personified. Yeah, that's high praise for sure. Bisping also covered the whole fight on his channel, and I mean the entire thing. He made predictions beforehand and broke it all down after the fact as well. And sure, he did give Hill his due, but you've gotta love the respect this ex-champ has for Glover.
UFC 283 just finished and we have a new champion of the world. The first ever champion that came from the Contender Series. I am, of course, talking about Sweet Dreams, Jamahal Hill. He won the vacant light heavyweight title fight in an epic fight against Glover Teixeira. Now listen, my respect for Glover Teixeira is endless. What that man just did, what he just endured, the toughness that he showed. He is a legend personified. I mean, come on. It was clear from the get-go. Jamahal was faster.
But guys, you've got to remember that despite the Brazilian retiring, the other big thing that happened at UFC 283 was Hill becoming the champ. Once again, the MMA world made sure to voice their opinions. And there are some guys in particular we just have to mention. Starting with Jon Jones and Aljo. Both of these superstars weighed in, and while Bones kept it simple, Aljo made sure to enjoy himself. That's right, in classic Jones fashion, the man just tweeted out a congratulatory message to Sweet Dreams. And while this may seem like nothing, it's a huge deal. I mean, having Jon Jones, the guy that ruled over the light heavyweights for years, acknowledge you as the new champ of the division is an honor for sure. On the other hand, Aljo wasn't serious at all, and was just trolling. He did predict that Hill would win though, so that's something. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. Two other guys have much more relevance to Sweet Dreams being the champ. And the first one is Jiří Procházka. I mean, is this a surprise? This man was forced to relinquish the light heavyweight title due to injury. And if that wasn't the case, he'd probably still be the champ. But hey, Hill got an incredibly lucky shot, and to be fair, he took it. And Jiří responded on Twitter congratulating the new champ and telling him to watch out. We're probably gonna see Procházka fighting for the title as soon as he heals. But as I said, this is just one of the two other guys that have a stake in Sweet Dreams as being the champ. And the other one is none other than Alex Pereira. Yeah, if you don't know, this guy's Teixeira's student. And he's also a crazy killer. Seeing his teammate and mentor get pummeled as he did definitely left the guy angry. And he was glaring so hard at Hill that even DC noticed in post-fight. That's right, this man might just move up to avenge his friend if he ends up consolidating his position as the middleweight champ. But it isn't just hearsay that I'm basing this on. Poatan straight up called Hill out. That's right, he too posted a response to the American's big win, challenging the guy to take him on since Procházka's injured. And this is a very real possibility for the middleweight king, guys. I mean, the man's huge, and he can easily move up to light heavyweight. That was the craziest news regarding UFC 283, Hill's position as the new champ, and Glover's retirement. See you in the next one!